At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
When you choose Delta Dental of Iowa, you set a chain of good in motion because we invest in your community. So whether you get your plan at work or purchase it through us, you get more than great dental and vision insurance. You make a difference for others. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, and for your community.
Frank, when you think Fairway, you think fresh. Is that the winning culture you've tried to create?
Penelope Pineapple, what an unbelievable produce performance. How does your team stay so fresh?
Sunkissed Orange. Is it true Fairway has offered the freshest produce in town since 1938?
What can we say? Our produce is so fresh, we're speechless.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Slade's the place for you!
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present the state softball tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders. It's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm-strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on an outstanding softball season. And remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
Live from the Harlan and Hazel Rogers Softball Complex in Fort Dodge, a Class 2A state quarterfinal comes your way to the East Marshall Mustangs and the Lisbon Lions. With Zarin Eggestall, Daniel Versteg with you. Let's quickly go down to the field for our pregame introductions.
Starters for the Lions. Leading off, the junior playing second base, number 6, Addie Clark. Addie second, the senior, the left fielder, number 24, Addie Peterson. Addie third, the senior playing third base, number 21, Chloe Clausen. Addie fourth, the sophomore, the shortstop, number 13, Cam Hall. Addie fifth, the junior, the center fielder, number 15, Caitlin Hazelwood. Sophomore, the first baseman, number Emma H. Head coach for the Lisbon Lions, Abby Schultz. Now let's meet the non-starters and assistant coaches for the home team on the scoreboard, East Marshall. Number 3, Delaney Ryan. Number 6, Riley Ammon. Number 11, Maddie White. Number 12, Leah Collins. Number 13, Taylor Halverson. Number 17, Kyla Goki. Number 18, Cora Albert. Number 24, Lily Dell. Number 31, Olivia Newrup. The assistant coaches, Greg Lee and Reagan Dunlap. And now let's meet the starters for East Marshall. Leading off, the senior, the pitcher, number 4, Morgan Newrup. The junior, the center fielder, number 7, Veda Ryan. The senior, the third baseman, number 9, Ray McElrath. Batting fourth, the sophomore, the first baseman, number 1, Peyton Ravenbauer. Batting fifth, the senior, the second baseman, number 23, Caleb Raymond. Batting sixth, the junior, the catcher, number 5, Bailey Grant. Batting seventh, the freshman, the DP, number 19, Ashton Weir. Batting eighth, the freshman, the right fielder, number 2, Libby Hatcher. Batting ninth, the senior, the left fielder, number 14, LaTayla Gerber. Second player, a junior, the shortstop, number 8, Michaela Holland. Head coach of the Mustangs is Jerry Hockey. Ladies and gentlemen, time to introduce our umpires for this afternoon's contest. At first base, Bill Reese. At third base, Paul Bird. And calling the ball to strike, Josh Perkins. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for state tournament softball.
Now it is time to get this one underway with a Class 2A state quarterfinal. It's Lisbon, a team who has been here many, many times before, against an East Marshall squad who is only making its 7th state tournament appearance and first since 2019. Again, alongside Zarin Egestall, Daniel Versteg with you. Let's take a look at what the path to this moment has looked like for both teams. You look at East Marshall, the Mustangs, 32-4. They defeated Ogden in the regional championship, a strong pitching staff that ranks 4th in Class 2A and ERA with a 1.59 earned run average, led by Morgan Newroth, a 26-2 record, 272 strikeouts. Of course, Peyton Gravenbauer with a strong bat. You look at the Lisbon Lions. They were able to get past Osage by a score of 4-2. And boy, do they have some pop. 24 home runs. That is a top mark in Class 2A, and they average almost 8 runs a game. Addie Clark has been able to produce a majority of those runs, and of course Kyla Call leads things in the circle with 22-8 record and 136 strikeouts. So a really strong matchup here. We've had already a good game here, Zarin. Yeah. I think another 4-5 matchup. You've got a Lisbon team very familiar with the state tournament, and East Marshall just maybe trying to get something started here.
Yeah, I was really interested to see this entire season how Lisbon would react, of course, with the retirement of Coach Bunting, 54 years as the coach
legendary
at Lisbon, and they have just filled in where they left off, and Abby Schultz has done such a great job in her first year as the head coach, softball player at Luther herself, and has done a really good job with this team, and here they are. They're right back in the state tournament again.
I mean, think about that. You get your first head coaching job, and you're replacing a guy who was there 54 years, 7th in Iowa high school softball in wins. Oh, by the way, you're playing on the field named after him.
All season long, the Bob Bunting Field.
All season long.
Yeah, just incredible. Coach Bunting retiring to take care of his 20-acre farm with cattle and chicken on it, and hopefully he has enjoyed a little summer to spend with the animals and the family rather than his softball family.
Yeah, absolutely. Here is the first pitch. We are underway. Addie Clark takes high and in for a ball from Morgan Newroth. It is 1-0, and we did a pretty good job getting things back on track after a long first game here on this field, just 5 minutes off schedule. The pitch is a strike.
We've been really fortunate for great softball these last 2 days. We were off track on both fields yesterday, but in a good way, not because of weather, but because we had really good softball games all day long.
Yeah, we had, I think, 2 or 3 extra inning games yesterday. 1 and 2 here to Clark, and I was not here yesterday, I'll admit it, but somebody told me that this field, that was a half hour behind, finished before the first field that started a half hour ahead.
Yeah, and the final game on this field last night, walk-off for Dubuque Wahlert. What a fun game.
Floating pop-up left side, and it is caught by the shortstop, Michaela Holla, and it is out number 1. So a nice first out there as we take a look at Morgan Newroth. We kind of did a little bit of that in the road to state. 2-time All-State selections. He's going to play at Des Moines Area Community College for softball, and an outstanding player of the year in the North Iowa Cedar League West Division this season. Nearly untouched, 26 wins this season, and she fires in a strike to Addie Peterson.
Yeah, it's had a great year, a 1.44 ERA, 264 strikeouts this season. She's only walked 23, almost 200 innings, getting close to 200 innings, just 23 walks, 7 hits, 25 and 2. Has had a great year.
Oh, here's a deep drive to center field. That ball is over the head of the center fielder, Brian. Rounding first and into second base, standing up is Addie Peterson. Peterson's got her 12th double of the season. It is the first hit of the game, and it is a Channel Seeds extra base hit. Channel Seeds, proud to sponsor the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Tournament. They're here to help farmers like you up your game, rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com/rise.
And when you watch this replay, Brian had a really good shot of getting her at second base just to throw a little bit off the base. Good effort by Brian, but just that throw going a little wide.
Yeah, that throw would have definitely beat her. It's not quite on target. Here's Chloe Clausen. And the first pitch. That's a ball high, 1-0. So Lisbon has already gotten in business. A one-out double for Addie Peterson, something she's been well known for, 12 of those this season.
And, of course, for East Marshall, I mean, none of these girls have been in this experience. 2019, their last state tournament run here in Fort Dodge. So it might just take some time to settle in. And
yeah, 2019, seniors were 7th graders.
Yeah.
Not even playing varsity softball. No chance to play varsity softball.
Exactly. They finished 4th that year in 2019, won their first round game, lost to Alto Aurelia in the semifinals, and then fell in the consolation matchup. And I'm sure some of these girls might have been in the stands watching, but that's a different experience.
Much different. Count is 1-2 now to Clausen as Newroth looks for one of those patented strikeouts. This one's popped straight back and out of play.
And that's obviously a key in this situation when you have a runner at second base, trying to keep that ball out of play. You know, if there's nobody on base, okay, we'll take a fly ball. You know, we'll take a ball in play. The girl on second base, we don't want that ball in play just in case something else happens.
Yeah, the sacrifice opportunities. You know, Lisbon is going to take advantage of that. This is a fly ball right center. That's down. It's a base hit. Peterson's rounding third, gets a stop sign from Abby Schultz. And runners are on the corners here with one out as Lisbon has back-to-back hits to threaten East Marshall.
And what we've seen there, again, another great throw-in from the outfield for East Marshall. And Coach Schultz originally was giving the windmill there at third base, quickly threw on the stop sign. That's something that Lisbon's going to start taking mental notes about, saying one different thing, you don't get to watch those infielders throw before the game starts. You don't get to see the arms, quickly seeing those arms, and I know they're going to be careful.
And Libby Atcher, the one who flagged that down in right. Now here's Cam Call. She bunts it foul up the third base line. Now, Lisbon, you know, that is their bread and butter. They small ball, they score runs in a number of different ways. Obviously, they have power. They can hit home runs, but when you can move base runners around, you're in a good spot. And now we have, what do we have, a necklace issue? It's like a necklace issue. Cam Call's necklace has been retired into the Lisbon dugout.
Lisbon, you know, they have all the fun things. They've had the fun glasses and things that they've been wearing. But when you get on a softball diamond, you got to keep those in the dugout.
Bunted back to the circle. It's picked up by Newroth, watches the runner back and throws to first where Brinkman covers the bag, and an outstanding job by the East Marshall defense. They rotated well and held the runner at third.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Lisbon was looking to do more there than just move a runner from first base to second base, especially with a runner at third base. Probably looking to either bunt safe, or if that throw is wide to first base, now you score. But East Marshall did a really good job of covering that bunt.
Now it's going to have to take a base hit from Caitlin Hazelbush. 2 on, 2 out. Pitch. Slate swing and a miss. Strike one. Didn't quite get what she was looking for there. And she falls behind. You're mentioning all the stuff Lisbon's got in the dugout. I think I see a stuffed lion pressed up against the fence over there. It makes sense. You got to have a mascot there.
Yeah.
It's the 0-1 to Hazelbush. From Newroth. Tied. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, we don't want them bringing an actual lion in here. We like to see those at the zoo. I don't want to see one of those running around Hazel and Harlan Rogers Sports Complex.
That doesn't quite fit the Bulldog mantra, or something more tame.
Yeah.
1-1. That's fouled straight back.
Good. Just getting a piece of that one there.
So Hazelbush, who is right in the middle of the order, 26 runs batted in, got very familiar with Coach Schultz here this school year. She helped Coach Schultz in her kindergarten classroom, helped wrangle the young ones and make sure she had a helping hand in that Lisbon school district. 1-2 to Hazelbush. It's outside, evens the count. So they're probably on the same wavelength. They've been probably talking about the softball season since the school year started in August.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Second and third here for the Lions. 2-2 from Newroth to Hazelbush. Pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Morgan Newroth works her way out of 2 one-out hits. Keeps the Lions off the board. She's fired up. And it'll be East Marshall's turn at the plate when we come back. You're watching the Girls State Softball Tournament on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Level up your game at Central College. More than half of Central's students participate in intercollegiate athletics because Central allows you to pursue your passions and be more than a spectator. It's the best decision ever. Apply at central.edu. You can be forever Dutch at Central College. Halfway through inning number 1, Lisbon scoreless after leaving 2 runners on with a double and a single. Looked like they were going to get a run, got a bunt down, but could not quite bring the runner in from third with good East Marshall defense. And now the Mustangs will get their first crack against Lisbon. Starting pitcher Kyla Call, an 8th grader. Boy, what a season she's having in junior high. 22-8, 3.13 ERA. A 201 opponent batting average. She's third in Class 2A in pitching wins. Starts Newroth off with the ball.
Yeah, it's just had a really good season. Spins the ball really well, as we'll see.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Morgan Newroth gets something started here for East Marshall. Leadoff base runner on for the Mustangs.
That's what she does so well. Not only pitches the ball really well, too, but she also swings the bat. She's kind of that get-go player, right? Get him back to the dugout, get him on base, and now let the rest of her team try to drive her in.
So East Marshall gets the leadoff base runner on, trying to get the game's first run. Veda Bryan, the center fielder, digs in, shows a punt, and drops a foul up the first base line.
Small ball, obviously a big push here. Kuchowski and down that third base side.
Jerry Hosky's been doing this quite a while as well, 17 years as the head coach of East Marshall softball. And if his team can get him 2 more wins, he would reach 400 wins here at the state tournament. 0-1 is high, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, has had, had relations go through, of course. Cody Hosky, I don't remember her, 4-time All-Stater, has done a fantastic job. 17 years here at East Marshall.
Back to the state tournament, 5th time under his tutelage. Ball taken up and away, 2-1 here to Bryan. And they've only made it out of the quarterfinal round into semifinal play twice in this run with Coach Hosky as the head coach. 2019 and 2014, they finished in 4th place both times of the state tournament. 2-1 to Bryan. She gets the bunt down. She touched it. Was she in the box? She was ruled in the box, so it's a foul ball. 2-2, the count here to Bryan. That was close.
Yeah, really close.
It looked like that first step, she might have been close to being out of the box. But deemed in it, foul ball. And so she stays alive in this count.
Now with a 2-2 count, see if she decides to swing away. Sometimes you'll see it on 2-2, but it's risky.
The pitch, no show, and taken for strike 3 on the outside corner, and Kyla Call gets her legs underneath her, gets a strikeout for the first out of the inning, brings up Rain McElrath.
Yeah, really good job by Deach behind the plates, framing that pitch. I mean, it was a strike the whole way, but she did such a good job showing the umpire right where it was at and getting that, helping to get that called third strike.
McElrath, swing and a miss, strike 1. Rain McElrath, Sister Reagan McElrath, the assistant coach at East Marshall. Done a very strong job with this East Marshall program the last few years. 0-1. And a fly ball hit to deep center field. Hazelbush camps under it in deep right center. And she makes the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, tracked well. Like to see that by your center fielders. Open up with that first drop step and eyes on the softball the whole way. Cloudy day here in Fort Dodge as of right now. It's been a beautiful day, so we won't complain about the cloudy day. But that helps kind of keep that sun out of the eyes, looking for that softball. You know, this is different playing softball at 1:30. I know, of course, these teams have some experience. We talk about the Lisbon girls, but the East Marshall girls, sometimes you'll play a Saturday tournament here and there, but for the most part, you know, especially East Marshall, smaller schools, I mean, you're playing at between 6 and 7 o'clock every night.
Sometimes 7:30, too, I mean, depending on how long JV games go, conference games, all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, this is kind of new territory for East Marshall, but they're adapting well. That pitch missed high, 1-1.
Yeah, a whole different swing of things. You know, going to a new place and you're playing at a different time in front of, you know, fans. You got, the smell of all the aroma of food in the air. I mean, it smells like a carnival here sometimes.
It's torturous for us broadcasters. Here's a fly ball to center. That one with carry as well. Hazelbush, deep center, has plenty of room and makes the catch. It's the 3rd out of the inning. Hazelbush busy in center, but a good busy as a leadoff hit left stranded. We've played 1 scoreless inning of softball. We'll go to the 2nd next. This is the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Frank, when you think fairway, you think fresh. Is that the winning culture you've tried to create?
Penelope Pineapple, what an unbelievable produce performance. How does your team stay so fresh?
Sun-kissed orange. Is it true Fairway has offered the freshest produce in town since 1938?
What can we say? Our produce is so fresh, we're speechless.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Here at Fort Dodge, the Girls State Softball Tournament. Daniel Versteg joined by Zarin Eggestal as we played 1 complete scoreless softball inning in this Class 2A state quarterfinal. Lisbon and East Marshall squaring off for the first time at the state tournament, but this is not quite an unfamiliar matchup. They haven't played in a long time, but it was 2014 last time Lisbon and East Marshall squared off, and the Mustangs had the bonus there, winning that one 8-3. Alexa Rose leads things off, and Newroth missed outside, 1-0. Well, both teams had their chances in the first innings there, and Lisbon obviously the better chance. East Marshall got a leadoff base hit, and I think that was just the pitcher's jitters, and they started settling in through the first inning.
And we've seen that this whole week. We've seen the whole week where we've seen a lot of runs in the first couple of innings. Pitchers kind of settling in. What I like, obviously Lisbon put runners on. We'll see East Marshall again later on here in the second, but East Marshall, the contact they got, man, they were really smacking those softballs around. Just need to find one away from a Lisbon defender.
The pitch is fouled. Yeah, Caitlin Hazelbush was really busy in center field in the bottom of the first inning. Deep fly balls to the deepest part of center field. Just couldn't quite get it either over her head or over the fence. Obviously, you'd like the latter if you're an East Marshall fan, but could not quite get it over the yard. Here's the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. The rising fastball and back-to-back Ks recorded by Morgan Newroth. Bring up her pitching counterpart, Kyla Call.
Yeah, and she went upstairs twice, back-to-back pitches. I think on the first one, she got a swing, got a little contact. I think she saw something, hey, I'm going to try to go back upstairs again, and finds a strikeout. That's just IQ of a really good softball pitcher right there.
First pitch is high here to Call.
And she'll keep that in her mind, too. I mean, these pitchers, they don't have, they'll keep that in their mind, knowing next time you come back up, hey, that first pitch might be sky high a little bit when it comes in to see if, hey, are you still going to chase after those, or are you seeing those now?
Yeah, some teams do adapt. They are able to pick it out, but more often than not, those risers just lead to a lot of pop-ups, too. 2-0, strike called inside corner. This bottom of the order here for Lisbon, it's Kyla Call, Brianna Turkington. We might see Lily Geyser as well. No promises on that, of course. The 2-1 home to Call. Strike called, inner half at the knees. 2-2 to Call.
Call just an 8th grader, 228 average this year, 13 hits for her this season.
Obviously been making her name in the circle more often than not. 2-2, wave and a miss, strike 3. And Morgan Newroth struck out 3 Lions in a row. That'll bring up the designated player, Brianna Turkington.
Yeah, Turkington, 312 this season. A good bat at the back part of that order, try to flip that lineup card back over the top.
But right now, Newroth is in a roll, and she dials in a first pitch strike. I mean, you go up there, obviously, with a game plan, and then a pitcher like Morgan Newroth just says, to heck with your game plan. I'll just, sit you down. And she's been doing that the last few hitters. She's ahead 0-2. Morgan Newroth, one of the top strikeout arms. The career record holder at East Marshall in strikeouts. And understandably so with what we've seen the last inning in 2/3. She's ahead 0-2. A 2-out pitch. Softs the plate outside, 1-2.
She's thrown 29 pitches so far in this outing, and a majority of them have been strikes thus far. 21 of them thrown for strikes.
So I think I got about 7 or 8 balls now. Here's the 1-2, wave and a miss, strike 3. As Morgan Newroth strikes out the side in the top half of the second inning. She's got 4 strikeouts through 2 complete. Heading to the bottom of the second. It'll be 5-6-7 for East Marshall when we come back on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
for you.
Ava Bringman takes a pitch down to open things up in the bottom of the second inning with Zarin Eggestall. Daniel Versteeg with you. It's Class 2A state quarterfinal. East Marshall and Lisbon in their first meeting between each other in 10 years. 1-0 and a fly ball lazily hit to center. Trouble in shallow center, but it's Hazelbush who continues to be a workhorse out there and make her third consecutive catch for out number one.
Yeah, and the wind is blowing a little bit too, so that ball is moving around in the wind. You can see the flag between the two fields is waving around pretty good. So sometimes those fly balls are not quite as easy as we would think they would be because that ball's going to shift a little bit in that wind.
Now here's Bailey Grant after a 2-pitch out. That's fouled back. 0-1.
Little update over on the other field on our Channel Seeds Championship field. Van Meter leading West Fork 8-0. They are in the top of the fourth inning.
Well, Van Meter, the number one team for a reason. And, of course, the winner of that game gets the winner of this contest. A 1 to Grant. Line drive, hard hit to left field, bounces by the left fielder Peterson. Heading to second base is Grant. She's in there standing. And East Marshall's got a one-out base runner in scoring position with a two-bagger. Yeah, it is a Channel Seeds extra base hit as well.
It is. I didn't know for sure if they were how they were going to score that, but it should be an extra base hit. I would score that as an extra base hit as we'll watch this one again. Just a linear swing. What a great piece of hitting. And we mentioned before they're hitting the ball so well, just not getting into open spaces, and they find an open space there.
Yeah, finally get one to drop, and now we also are going to have a courtesy runner here, Cora Talbert. The end of the ball game here for East Marshall. It is an IMT Insurance pinch runner. I know you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com. Yeah, the official score there is a double. No error on the play. And here is Ashton Weeder, the designated player for East Marshall. And the first pitch from Kyla Call. It's upstairs, and it's 1-0. So now this definitely throws a little wrench into the plan of Kyla Call, who had been getting in a roll, retired 4 in a row, and now gives up a double. 1-0. And a fly ball softly hit left field. That ball's dropping for a base hit. On to third goes Talbert. She's getting the wave around. Now has to hustle back to third with a good throw to the infield. And on to second base goes Ashton Weeder.
Yeah, and I think that was by design by East Marshall, because if they can swing you around that third base bag, she knows she's going back to third immediately. The defense doesn't, so they bring the ball to third base to try to get her. She gets back in, and they get an extra base on the throw. So now they have runners at second and third. I think that's by design there by East Marshall.
Wouldn't shock it. I mean, I'm sure that's one of those tricks that Coach Hosky has developed over the nearly 2 decades as the head coach of East Marshall, as Libby Atcher takes a strike on the outside corner.
It's one of those things that's kind of risky, because if you do get picked off at third, it stinks. But in these state tournament games, any runs, any base runners you can get in scoring position, you sometimes got to take the riskier route.
It's down and away, yeah. You don't win state tournaments by being passive.
No.
The passive do not do well in Fort Dodge. So it takes aggressive, risky softball, and East Marshall shows that. Second and third with 1 out. And the 1-1 from Call. That's a ground ball. Diving stop at third by Clausen. Gets to her knees, won't have a play to first. A run scores as well. Cora Talbert puts East Marshall up 1-0.
And East Marshall swinging it right now. We mentioned how well they swang it in the first inning as well. They just could not get an open spot. Now they get back-to-back base hits. They get some good base running, and then an infield hit. Great defensive play to keep that ball out of the outfield, but turns into a base hit.
Yeah, that could have been 2 runs if Clausen does not knock it down. Instead, it's just held to 1. Michaela Kerber becomes the batter. I think we're also going to get another runner here. Probably for the designated player.
Yeah, I think it's Michaela Holla.
Yep, that would make sense. So she is the flex player, and that's an easy substitution to make. It is an IMT Insurance substitution for the flex player, Michaela Holla. In for the DP, Ashton Weeder at second. So, runners on first and second. 3 straight hits for East Marshall And a run on the board for the Mustangs here in the bottom of the second inning as Michaela Kerber, the left fielder, left-handed hitter, digs in out of the bottom of the order. Very up front in the box. She shows bunt, pops it up. It drops. Diving the third baseman, Clausen crashes into her fielder, and everybody is safe. The bunt got down. Everybody reaches, and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have a conversation here from Coach Schultz. If she comes out, she got an 8th grade pitcher now in a little bit of a problem here in the state tournament. I would not be surprised. She does not. She stays in the dugout, but as a team, they come together. So the entire team comes together in the circle. I think the outfielders are in there as well.
Yeah, the outfielders are in there as well. That is very rare to see. All 9 players are in the circle in a little huddle here for Lisbon.
And like I said, I knew there would be a conversation of some sort. You got to have one in this situation, especially when you just had miscommunication. I mean, you could tell the entire way that Cole thought that she was going to make that play, and then everybody else comes crashing in. Of course, everybody wants to make the play, but you got to go back to the fundamentals of, okay, who's got what ball?
And here's Morgan Neuroth. Takes up as she comes up with the bases loaded. No better time for your leadoff hitter to swing it here in the second inning.
Especially when you have one that makes contact with the ball as well as she does.
.425 batting average coming into the tournament. 1-0 is high. It's 2-0.
And what I like the most, though, 5 strikeouts. She struck out 5 times in over 120 at-bats this year. She doesn't strike out. She makes contact or she gets hit or walked.
2-0. Rocket foul down the left field line. 2-1.
And that's what makes the situation more dangerous, because wherever she hits the softball, runs are going to be coming home. You got to either get a play out. If it's in the outfield, you're either going to get a sac fly or you're going to get a base hit. If it's in the infield, you got to try to come quickly home.
Bases loaded. 2-1. It's upstairs. 3-1, and there's nowhere to put her. If you walk her, that also puts a run on the board.
Yeah.
This is the last hitter that Lisbon wanted to see in this scenario. 4 straight hits, bases loaded, 1 run already in. It's the 3-1 to Neuroth. And that's smashed down the left field line, hooking, foul into the corner, and the count is full.
And even in a situation like that, some people at home might be saying, oh, foul ball, catch it. Well, foul ball is a live ball. If she catches that, that's a sac fly. You hope.
With how deep that was, yeah, you definitely hope. I've seen that throughout the summer too. Some foul balls, you think it's probably better to just let it drop and let your pitcher try and get it out there. Count is now full. 1 out. Bases juiced. Payoff pitch. Outside ball 4. 2-0 East Marshall. Neuroth drives in a run with a bases loaded walk.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations that you hate to walk somebody in that situation, bring home a run, but that may not be the worst situation.
Right.
Trade 1 rather than her rocketing 1 out to center field and could be scoring 3.
So, Veda Bryan, the center fielder, will bat. Morgan Neuroth is replaced at first. We'll have a courtesy runner for the pitcher.
Yeah, kind of delayed there. I think they were trying to decide whether they wanted to bring her in or not.
It's Delaney Ryan into the ball game. It is another one of those IMT insurance substitutions. And you can learn how to be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. So, where are we at? 5 straight base runners have reached for East Marshall. 2 have scored, and things are going from bad to worse here for Lisbon. Veda Bryan bats for the Mustangs. And the first pitch is upstairs, 1-0.
And go back to what I said earlier, the reason why, not saying that she's going to strike out again, but Bryan has already struck out once today in her first plate appearance. So, maybe you bring in 1 run here if you can find a strikeout or something light contact-wise.
Ball 2, upstairs.
You can get to a second out with the bases loaded rather than a ball be in play. But Bryan has had a great season as well.
Yeah.
She's hitting .373, so
she's the second spot in the order for a reason. 2-0, that's down the middle. There's a strike. Good comeback there from Kyla Call as she tries to bounce back in this count against Veda Bryan. Walking a run in this second inning already and allowing another one to score on a base hit. 2-1. It's upstairs. 3-1.
I think Cole wanted that one. You can see her kind of a little frustrated after that pitch. Of course, the most pressure she has ever been in. Of course, has probably played some good travel ball against some good teams, but no pressure situation like this.
3-1. That's high, ball 4. Another bases loaded walk. And East Marshall goes up 3-0 in the second. And Abby Schultz needs to talk things over.
And it could be to see if they decide to go to Addie Peterson here, who has thrown 69, almost 70 innings this season, or if it's just a conversation. And it looks like Coach Schultz is actually doing more of a fundamental conversation.
Looks like it.
Yeah, kind of showing her something that she may be missing. Always teach you when you have these young athletes.
Right. Well, and with Abby Schultz, as you mentioned, she is a collegiate softball player in her own right, so someone that knows a thing or two, about a thing or two as well. So she's trying to calm down her 8th grade starting pitcher, Kyla Call, who has now allowed 6 consecutive Mustangs to reach. Base is loaded. The first pitch now to Rain McElrath is high. McElrath hit one pretty hard, but flew out to deep center field in inning number 1. I'm sure she wouldn't mind another one of those hit that far. So 1-1 to McElrath. It's outside, 2-0.
And right now just looking for a strike. If you're East Marshall, you don't need to be impatient at the plate, and I'm sure that's something they've been told in years past and throughout this season, is when you got a pitcher that's struggling to find the zone, let them find the zone before we go after anything. Don't want to help them out.
No. 2-0, that's high, 3-0. And case in point, most scenarios, that's a hitter's count. You're looking to swing. They probably swing at that pitch if they're not being told to take.
Yeah, exactly. And you're taking right now. Seen a couple of walks, high ball counts. Now it's 3-0 with the bases loaded. You're probably never swinging in this situation.
No. There's a get-me-over strike of the knees, 3-1. Yeah, Kyla Call, she just wants to go back to work. The catcher was trying to maybe play a little cat and mouse game with Michaela Kerber, but Call just said, hey, give me the ball. Let me get going again. 3-1 here to McElrath. Pitch. It's hit in the air on the infield. The infield fly rule is called, and the first baseman, Rose, makes the catch. The batter was out anyway. It is out number 2, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Peyton Grabenbauer, the 9th hitter for East Marshall in the second.
Yeah, that batter was out no matter what, but still one of those situations. We've seen that twice now. Lisbon just having trouble communicating. I think Call is, again, she said in both those situations, she again said to her first baseman there is, I got that, I'm calling that.
Yep. First pitch to Grabenbauer, catches the outside corner for strike 1.
And that was the same thing she was kind of saying to first base, catcher, and third baseman when that bunt fell in the middle earlier.
Yeah, Kyla Call really wants to do a lot in the circle. 0-1. That's up. 1-1.
Which, I mean, you have to ask somebody, ask some of those coaches what they would prefer. But, I like a player that wants to get into the action. But then again, some pitchers are just focused on pitching. If there's a ball near the circle, they want their third baseman, they want their first baseman to make the catch. I'm here to pitch. You're here to catch those.
Bauer takes up and away, 2-1. Yeah, it totally depends on the pitcher. I mean, you got a pitcher that maybe sometimes wouldn't mind being the only one on the infield, and others who would maybe like an extra infielder every now and then. 2-1, bases loaded to Grabenbauer. The pitch from Call, that's fouled straight back. I think Peyton wants that one back. That looked like a pretty good pitch to hit.
Yeah, she just missed it too, just underneath that. It scraped over the top of her bat and back here to the backstop. And if you were to ask her, she would definitely take that one all over again.
3 runs for East Marshall in this second inning. Counts 2-2. The pitch, it's upstairs, full count, and now the base runners can get a head start as well here in this second inning.
Yeah, because it's either going to be base hit, ball 4, foul ball, or strikeout. I mean,
Yeah, there's no sense in waiting. Might as well get a head start. Here go the runners. The payoff pitch is crushed to left field. That's way back. It's gone. A grand slam home run for Peyton Grabenbauer. And the Mustangs blow it open with 7 runs in the second. It's Grabenbauer's 5th home run of the season.
Yeah, and you could tell she was waiting for that pitch, and she absolutely, after she missed the one before that, you could see she was kind of licking her chops, and she saw that one coming the whole way and just smashed it out of the park. The wind is blowing in. As I mentioned before, the wind is blowing in, so she had to hit that through the wind blowing in. Let's watch this one again on replay. She was just waiting for this pitch and just crushes it to left field through the wind.
And with some space to spare as well, easily cleared the folks out there in left field. And that will be the end of the day for Kyla Call, as Addie Peterson, the senior, will try and right the ship. But East Marshall, a grand slam for Peyton Grabenbauer. They're up 7. Back with more after this on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, an Iowa farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau. As proud title sponsor of the state softball tournament, the Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to creating a vibrant future for Iowa through partnerships and programs that help cultivate individuals with great character, a strong work ethic, and exceptional leadership skills. Making it to the state tournament is a great accomplishment that takes a lot of support. That's why we provide millions of dollars in awards, grants, and scholarships that recognize athletic and academic excellence. The well-being of Iowa students is also very important to Farm Bureau. That's why we provide concussion insurance coverage at no cost for all students in grades 9 through 12 who participate in a sanctioned sport. As just one of only 7 states to provide this coverage, it's just another way we're striving to support Iowa's outstanding young leaders. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau, congratulations to all the players and coaches on an outstanding season, and good luck in the tournament.
Well, for the second consecutive postseason game, East Marshall hits a grand slam, this one off the bat of Peyton Grabenbauer, and it forces Lisbon into an IMT Insurance pitching change. Addie Peterson, the senior, will take things over, comes in out of the pen for the 7th time this year. 4.44 ERA, 7-2 the record. Opponent's hitting 247 off of her. She's walked 33 in 69 innings of work, so that number not where you want it, but at this point you just need somebody who can record an out for you.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just a different look, right? It's just a different look for a team that's obviously hitting your starting pitcher really well. Sometimes maybe not be as much movement, may not be as fast, but just it's something different.
Now time is called, as it is Ava Bringman into the contest to hit for the 2nd time in this inning.
Fly out her last time to the plate.
It's the 0-1. Ground ball back up the middle. That's through into center. Another base hit. East Marshall keeps the train on the track, and they've got a 2-out base runner for Bailey Grant, the catcher, to hit next.
And Grant has already smoked one here in this game, coming right back up. See what she does 2nd time up.
Yeah, already a double for her. And boy, East Marshall is just pouring it on. They beat Ogden in the region, final 11-1 in 5 innings, and we might be getting close to another one. Here's a fly ball. Could end the inning to shallow left center. It's Hazelbush coming in, and she makes the catch. It is out number 3, but the damage has thoroughly been done. East Marshall scores 7 in the 2nd, 4 on a grand slam home run for Peyton Grabenbauer. We'll see how Lisbon responds in the 3rd after this on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
When you choose Delta Dental of Iowa, you set a chain of good in motion. Because we invest in your community. So whether you get your plan at work or purchase it through us, you get more than great dental and vision insurance. You make a difference for others. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, and for your community.
We are back to the Harlan and Hazel Rogers softball park here at Fort Dodge with Zarin Eggestall, Daniel Versteg with you. 2 innings in the books, and East Marshall has done their damage. Sent 11 to the plate in the bottom half of the second, score 7 runs. And now it's Lisbon trying to bounce back. Here's Lily Kaiser. Takes a ball high, 1-0.
Yeah, and for East Marshall, it's obviously fun to score a lot of runs, but now Neuroth kind of just sat, and I mean, she was, of course, running around as part of that rally, but you're not pitching, so sometimes it just going to take you. She throws the first pitch for a ball. Going to take you a little time to kind of get back into it. Coach Schultz had a long conversation with her Lisbon Lions before they went into the dugout. I'm sure, along the lines of, hey, they scored 7 runs in an inning.
Right.
Why can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been here before. I'm sure Lisbon scored 7 runs in an inning on this field before. Kaiser's down 1-2.
It has started to sprinkle a little bit here in Fort Dodge as well. Nothing crazy. Looking at the radar, is a little green blob right above the Rogers Sports Complex, which is starting to spit a little rain on us, but just sprinkles. Shouldn't be anything that should affect anybody at this point.
Nothing major. At this point, it's just a minor nuisance. And hardly a nuisance at that. It's not going to impact the game in any way. 2-2 to Geyser and a swing and a miss for strike 3. Make it 5 straight strikeouts for Morgan Neuroth. She records the first out of the 3rd inning via the K. And now the top of the order comes back up in Addie Clark.
And obviously not affecting her. She's got the rosin bag that she's going to as well to kind of help out with grip for a rain or a sweat. Get the grip on that softball, and she is spinning that softball, folks.
Yeah, no grip problems here right now. She touches up the rosin bag a little bit more. Tries to get some more grip there. Counts 0-1 to Clark. And the pitch. Hit in the air. Right side of the infield. Ava Bringman, the second baseman, gets there and puts it away for out number 2. Making sure her defense is paying attention. After you strike out 5 in a row, you might worry every now and then. Is my defense still with me? Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Got a nice pop-up there. Now it's Addie Peterson, who took over in the circle, relieving Kyla Call, who just could not get out of inning number 2. Peterson takes ball. And Addie Peterson's also a pretty strong hitter for Lisbon this season, a .348 batting average. She's going to play softball at Mount Mercy University in Cedar Rapids, NAIA school in the Heart of America Conference. Going to be a Mustang playing against the Mustangs. 1-0, bouncing ball foul.
A little bit different colors, though.
Different colors for sure. A purple and light blue kind. I mean, they're the same same shade.
Yeah.
And that's a stretch. Same mascot. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
1-1 here to Addie Peterson as Neuroth is settled in, and she missed down 2-1.
Yeah, I think she had a plan with that pitch, and it just didn't come out the way she wanted it because her facial expression after where she saw that pitch go, like, ugh.
I've noticed some softball players would be horrible poker players.
Yeah.
They just know when that was a pitch they wanted to hit. 2-1 misses outside, 3-1. Now we are starting to collect some bigger drops here, so maybe we are going to get some grip issues here soon. But I don't foresee this lasting too long.
No, it was a small blob. There was this, to the west of us, there is a bigger blob that could come towards us, but hopefully not.
Ground ball to short, throw over to first, and Peterson is out number 3. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Morgan Neuroth. Heading to the bottom of the 3rd, still 7-0 East Marshall. Back with more state tournament action after this on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
Hey fans, official state tournament merchandise is now available online. Time to get your smartphones out. Just scan that QR code in the bottom left of your screen now, or visit IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merchandise to match your style. With Sarah Negestal, Daniel Versteg with you. As we go to the bottom of inning number 3, it is East Marshall 7 and Lisbon nothing. Eventful second inning for the Mustangs, scoring 7 runs in that second inning. And now it's Ashton Weeder, the designated player to hit, as Addie Peterson tries to keep recording outs and keep East Marshall from adding more. She misses outside.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing at this point. You can't worry about what happened in the second inning. At this point,
it's over.
Yeah, at this point, you just need to focus on the future, and I think that's probably what's been relayed to the Lions here is just let's get the outs we can. Let's keep them off the scoreboard from now. And
swing and miss makes it 1-1.
Pitch good pitches, make our defensive plays that we need to make. Let's communicate on defense, and let's get these outs.
Yeah, at this point, your goal, obviously you didn't want to give the 7 runs up. But now, that's your goal to get it there, offensively anyway.
Especially because, as you mentioned, I mean, East Marshall is only a couple of innings and a couple of runs away from, they get the chance in their hands to try to end this game.
Yeah, at this point, the fate of the game's kind of resting on how much they want it here. This one hits. Ashton Weeder, 2-1 pitch, runs inside. And the leadoff runner is on here for East Marshall. Oddly enough, the leadoff runner did not reach in that big 7-run second inning. But it does here in the third, and now it is the right fielder, Libby Atcher.
And Weeder was the one that hit that grand slam in the regional final against Ogden, so kind of a dangerous hitter. Don't want to hit anybody, but again, takes a dangerous hitter's bat away.
But at this point, I'd be scared to face anybody here for East Marshall with what they did in the last inning. This one missed outside to Atcher. Atcher got the party started in that second inning, drove in Cora Talbert, who was courtesy running for Bailey Grant, got the first run on the board, and things continued from there. Addie Peterson with the 1-0, shows bunt, and pushed it foul, straight back, 1-1.
Good crash by the infield's first baseman, third baseman crashing down the line.
You can tell Lisbon has worked on their bunt defense a time or two. They were on it and ready to go. 1-1 count here to Libby Atcher. And the pitch. Bunt shown again on a pitch down and in, and Atcher pulls it back, 2-1.
Yeah, she saw that one coming inside the whole time and kind of just quickly got out of the way of it. You got to make sure you pull your bat back. Don't offer at it. Don't make it seem like you're offering at it, especially on one of those that's coming inside.
And bunts are I feel like they're sometimes so subjective with how you time the pullback. This one dropped to beauty out in front of the plate. It's the third baseman, Clausen, throws to first. Hustling back to second, getting there is Ashton Weeder. And the bunt does its job. It's out number 1 as Clausen throws to Clark to get the first out. Here's Michaela Kerber, the left fielder. Kayla Kerber had a base hit in that second inning as well. Scored a run on the grand slam off of the bat of Peyton Grabenbauer. And just as quick as the rain came our way, the sun comes back out.
Yeah.
Knew that system wouldn't last long. First pitch is upstairs, 1-0.
Yeah, it was just a little blob.
Yeah, we're okay with that. Honestly, it felt kind of nice to have that little bit of rain for the moment. 1-0 here to Kerber. And the pitch. Pop foul, straight back. East Marshall awaiting the winner of the other 2A quarterfinal, which Van Meter was on top 8-0 last time we checked, and so it could be an easy prediction of the matchup at this point anyway, with a 7-0 and last one checked 8-0 advantage. 1-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strike counted to Michaela Kerber, who's trying to flip things over for the top of the order, see if you can keep the momentum up once again and keep the pedal to the floor. 1 and 2 to Kerber. The pitch from Peterson. A fly ball, foul, third base side, and heads up in that East Marshall section. Counts 1 and 2. Michaela Kerber out of the bottom of the order. Second team All-Conference selection. Only 1 hit in regional play coming into the state tournament. Well, she doubled that here with her hit in the second. Well, 1-2 to Kerber. Wave and a miss on a changeup, and really fooled Kerber, who was way out in front of it. A big strikeout there for Addie Peterson. It's out number 1, and now the top of the order, Morgan Neuroth is up. So Morgan Neuroth, who tattooed one in the left field corner as well, is up to bat for East Marshall with a run at second base here in the third. First pitch. There's a strike right down the middle. Nice spot. Steal one from Neuroth. Count is 0-1.
And Van Meter has extended that lead now 9-0. They're in the top of the 6th.
Okay, so that looking like a Van Meter win. 0-1, down and in. And it gets away from the catcher, Deach, and heading to third goes Ashton Weeder. Another run for East Marshall now, just 60 feet away from scoring.
Yeah, sometimes those ones are tough, especially here in Fort Dodge. There's a lot of space off of both sides of the dugouts.
Well, and I think a lot of these girls, too, probably used to maybe chain link fencing for a backstop. This one's drilled foul, 1 and 2. But here you've got netting, and some schools have netting. They're not all chain link, but the tough part is the lower third or whatever of the backstop. It is a plywood facing, and then it is padding in front of it. You get ricochets aplenty off of that backstop.
Yeah, no kidding.
You just have to be wise and give it a chance every time. 1-2 here to Neuroth. Drop ball that dropped too much. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Neuroth, base hit and a walk, scored a run, drove in a run here in this contest. She's done it all for East Marshall. 2 ball and 2 strike counter to Neuroth. And the pitch. Thought about it, but thought better of it. Counts full.
Yeah, that's one of those where at first it looks really, really good, so I'm going to go, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, I don't want that one.
I will say that the high fastball is the most tempting pitch to hit in all of softball or baseball. Payoff pitch and a bullet foul up the third base line as well. And I want whatever Jerry Hosky has. That man did not flinch a muscle in that third base coaching box, and 2 hot shots have come his way in this at-bat. Fearless. I guess that's what almost 2 decades standing in that box will do for you. Payoff pitch to Neuroth. Wave and a miss, strike 3. Big comeback there after allowing a leadoff base runner. Addie Peterson works her way out of it and keeps East Marshall off the board. We have played 3 complete. It's still an East Marshall lead of 7-0. Back with more state tournament softball after this on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, an Iowa farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau. As proud title sponsor of the state softball tournament, the Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to creating a vibrant future for Iowa through partnerships and programs that help cultivate individuals with great character, a strong work ethic, and exceptional leadership skills. Making it to the state tournament is a great accomplishment that takes a lot of support. That's why we provide millions of dollars in awards, grants, and scholarships that recognize athletic and academic excellence. The well-being of Iowa students is also very important to Farm Bureau. That's why we provide concussion insurance coverage at no cost for all students in grades 9 through 12 who participate in a sanctioned sport. As just one of only 7 states to provide this coverage, it's just another way we're striving to support Iowa's outstanding young leaders. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau, congratulations to all the players and coaches on an outstanding season, and good luck in the tournament.
Here at Iowa Central Field in Fort Dodge with Zarin Eggestall, Daniel Versteg with you. Inside the historic Harlan and Hazel Rogers Softball Park in Fort Dodge, where East Marshall has a commanding 7-0 lead over Lisbon. Heart of the Lion order is up. It's Chloe Clausen who takes a strike to open up the fourth.
Speaking of Iowa Central, the new softball field just down the drive here is going to host the Tritons next year. Beautiful facility.
Bouncing ball to short. Michaela Hala bobbles it, and Lisbon leads off the fourth with a much-needed base runner as Chloe Clausen gets aboard on the error.
Yeah, those are tough plays, those chopping hops, and of course every field has a different hop,
right.
So it's like I got to get used to it. Again, going back to, we haven't seen a lot of those chopping hops today, and obviously East Marshall hasn't played on this field, so it's a different field, and always true hop here because the fields are so well taken care of.
But these are manicured down to the blade of grass in the outfield. First pitch high and a throw down to first. Clausen is back in safely. And the grounds crew is literally like a machine. If you come here, the softball's great, but the in-between action is watching the grounds crew go to work. 1-0 to call, and she hits a fly ball to the left side. It's the third baseman, McElrath, that kind of stumbled in trying to size it up, but she got there and made the catch for the first out.
Yeah, I think she ran past that one at first.
I think she got a little razzing in that East Marshall dugout. She keeps chuckling over there. Almost became the butt of a punchline had she stumbled over the foul line chalk there. And luckily, she can laugh at herself. We are also going to have a runner out for Lisbon. This is going to be Gretchen Molman. Molman, the junior, running for Chloe Clausen. It's a pinch runner brought to you by IMT Insurance.
Yeah, one of those decisions that Coach Schwartz kind of just thought about, and not something that was predetermined because Molman was kind of thrown into action there.
Yep. You get the hunch that you need something there. First pitch. Upstairs for a ball, and now a delayed steal. She's going to second. Throw is in time. The catcher, Grant, threw to Bringman, the second baseman, in between the base paths, and she threw to Hala to record out number 2.
Yeah, Coach not very happy about that. She was kind of watching it over at the third base box. She thought that the foot had got in there first. No,
that's
tag,
great call. Yeah, Hala got the tag on there in time. And the delayed steal does not work for Lisbon. 2 outs, 1-0 count here to Hazelbush, the center fielder. And the pitch. It's inside, 2-0. Well, a really tough break there for Lisbon. They finally get a leadoff base runner and get her thrown out for the second out of the inning. Hazelbush to the plate, the 2-0, and that's high and outside, 3-0. Hazelbush struck out to end inning number 1, and Morgan Newroth would love for another one of those, but she's going to have to come back. The 3-0. It's upstairs, ball 4, 4-pitch walk. And the base runner on here for Lisbon, and now the Lions definitely second-guessing themselves after Gretchen Molman put out in between first and second. Would have first and second with 1 out, instead just a runner at first with 2 outs. Here's Alexa Rose, the first baseman. Newroth missed outside, 1-0. Of course, second-guessing's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do it. It's not hard.
Right.
It's, like you talked about, trying to be an aggressive softball team, trying to make the plays that need to be made. Rose takes down 2-0.
But just a couple of hits recorded in this game. Those base runners have been kind of valuable for Lisbon.
Think about this, Aaron. The first 2 hits, well, the only 2 hits, came in the first inning, came with 1 out. They got second and third.
Yeah.
Ground out, strikeout, and just did not take advantage of it. Bouncing ball up the first base line, that's a foul ball.
It looked so promising for Lisbon those first 2. It kind of felt like, Lisbon's just going to take control of this game from start to finish.
Typical Lisbon, right?
At the state tournament. And then East Marshall kind of just got that momentum at the end of that first inning and just kind of flipped it over on top of itself. And
this one's hit in the air to the right side. Bringman into the grass, and she gets there with a nice basket catch for out number 3. So Lisbon leaves a 2-out base runner. We have played 3.5. We're halfway through, and East Marshall with a 7-0 advantage. 2, 3, and 4 for the Mustangs. Come your way next here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Frank, when you think fairway, you think fresh. Is that the winning culture you've tried to create?
Penelope Pineapple, what an unbelievable produce performance. How does your team stay so fresh?
Sun-kissed orange. Is it true Fairway has offered the freshest produce in town since 1938?
What can we say? Our produce is so fresh, we're speechless.
With Zarin Eggestal, Daniel Versteg with you. This is the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy. We are halfway through this Class 2A state quarterfinal. It is 7-0 in favor of East Marshall. Veda Bryan leads things off, takes a ball in the dirt before we get too far into this fourth inning. We want to thank the Iowa Farm Bureau once again for presenting the 2024 Girls State Softball Tournament. A sole title sponsor, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Farm Bureau recognizes athletic and academic achievement on the diamond and in the classroom, helping to nurture Iowa's future leaders. And Veda Bryan gets plunked with a 1-0 pitch, and the second straight leadoff hit by pitch.
Yeah, and the first pitch, she kind of had a dance out of the way of it. It was at her feet in the box, and so she kind of dances away from it, and then the second pitch is boom. And don't look now, but, of course, one of the things that you see sometimes in softball, give her a little bit of a rest, but Kyla's back down to the bullpen working out here for Lisbon, so we'll see if they decide to go back to their young 8th grader.
Rain McElrath digs in, first pitch, ball down, 1-0. Yeah, it's important to note, in softball, you don't have the permanent, everybody thinks Major League Baseball, you sub once, you're out of the game. It's not necessarily the case in high school softball and baseball. Some substitutions become permanent, but for the most part, most things are pretty temporary. We obviously have the courtesy runner. You can put a pitcher in a couple of different times in a game, and the DP allows so much flexibility. There's so many different ways that a team could attack substitutions in a game. 1-1, bouncing ball. That one got Rain McElrath. That's not going to feel good.
In the box.
In the box, though. It is a foul ball. She'll try and walk it off that left leg. And Jerry Hosky, the head coach of East Marshall, trying to check in on his starting third baseman. She appears to be okay, and she'll go back in the box.
Cole went 44 pitches earlier.
Inning and 2/3, 7 runs. Runner goes, pitches high, throw to second is not nearly in time, and Veda Bryan easily steals the second base bag, her 21st swipe of the year. And East Marshall's in scoring position.
Yeah, she has been really good at stealing those bases this year for East Marshall.
Leading the team, in fact, in stolen bases.
Yeah, nobody else has over 9.
Right.
And now she's got 21.
2-2 to McElrath, the pitch. Ball straight back. Count remains 2-2. And it's a 7-0 East Marshall lead, and the Mustangs continue to threaten with more. They have had so many good scoring opportunities with leadoff hit batters, getting into scoring position. They small ball their way on, steal bases, all that kind of good stuff. 2-2. Up and in, and the count's full.
This will be a big pitch here with with nobody out.
Yeah, all of a sudden this feels like kind of a make or break at bat in this inning. Otherwise, we might be looking at another big inning like East Marshall had in the second. Here's the payoff pitch. Ground ball, left side, bobbled at short by Cameron Call, and now going to third and getting there safely is Veda Bryan. Runners on the corners with nobody out for East Marshall.
Yeah, I think that's going to go down as an error.
Yep, looks like it.
Not just a fielder's choice, because the runner obviously was not going to take off until she saw the bobble. So that will be an error. Runners advance first and third. And now you have a situation where East Marshall realistically has a path to not only winning this game in the top half of the fifth inning, but, I mean, they have a realistic chance of winning this game here in the fourth.
Right. 5 runs would win it here. 3 runs would set up a scenario in which Lisbon needs to score in the next half inning. And look who it is at the plate again. It's Peyton Grabenbauer. She could put 3 runs on the board here.
Exactly. That's why I brought it up, the fact that we're at a spot in the order where they could score some runs here.
Ooh, she watches a good one right down the middle for strike 1. Yeah, Grabenbauer's grand slam in inning number 2 has blown this one open. 7-0 in favor of East Marshall. That put the bow on a 7-run second inning. It's a big bow. 0-1 to Grabenbauer, takes down an inning.
The type that you would buy for like a car present.
Yeah, right.
Buy a present for a car.
Those very realistic commercials where you buy your significant other a car for Christmas.
Yes.
You would do that without telling your wife, right?
100%.
Of course, yeah. I'd do the same.
In a different life.
Yeah, maybe someday. Maybe if this broadcasting thing works out. It's the 1-1 in Grabenbauer. Hits a fly ball to left.
Could be
tagging
deep.
Bryan. Left fielder Turkington makes the catch. She subbed out there, and no advancement from Bryan anyway. Wasn't deep enough. It's out number 1, and here's Ava Brinkman.
It looked like that ball was going to carry a little bit more than it did originally. I thought maybe it was going to be deep enough to try to score on a sack, but was pretty shallow. Not enough. That's a big out.
A huge out, yeah. No advancement. You get 1 on the board and get closer to eliminating the sacrifice. Here's Ava Brinkman. And she floats one to left. This one carrying a little more. Diving. Unable to make the catch. The left fielder, Turkington. Heading into score is Bryan. Now going to second. The play is safe. It's a force play, and they do call her out now. The the field umpire did not realize it was a force play scenario, so that goes down as a 7-4 fielder's choice. We'll take a look at it again.
Yeah.
This one hit well, but good effort by Turkington. Couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, the runner from first kind of delayed in taking off. Even after the ball was dropped, she hesitated. That's why it took her so long to get 60 feet there to second base. Because if that ball is dropped right away, we got to be, we should be already halfway in those situations anyway. And that ball's dropped, we should have 30 feet or less to run.
Now it's 8-0 after the run scores, and the first pitch is fouled back to Bailey Grant, 0-1. I beg your pardon, watching the replay, it was a 7-6-4 fielder's choice. If you're keeping a book at home, Yes. No, you're very typical 7-6-4 fielder's choice. I see that all the time. 0-1 here to Grant. And that's pop foul straight back, 0-2.
Well, in the last game we had you had a 1-4-3 put out at first base off the leg.
I think we also had a 1-6-3 as well.
All right.
So you see enough softball throughout the week, you'll get some strange stuff. 0-2 count to Grant. Peterson looking for it. Missed it. 1-2. Grant had a double in the second inning. Runner on first. It's going to have to be a home run to try and get to that 10-run margin that would put the pressure on Lisbon in the next half inning. 1-2 pitch. Tie, 2-2.
Or a bunch of 2-out hits here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We actually, East Marshall has not had a hit in this inning. Hit batter, error, and a fielder's choice. 2-2. Ground ball, scooped up at third by Clausen. She throws to first in time. Gross puts out Bailey Grant, and the inning comes to an end. But the run scores for East Marshall. It comes on no hits and error, and a runner left. After 4, 8-0 East Marshall on top. We'll go to the top of the fifth. See what Lisbon's got in store after this on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Fans, level up your game at Central College. More than half of Central students participate in intercollegiate athletics because Central allows you to pursue your passions and be more than a spectator. It's the best decision ever. Apply at central.edu. Speaking from experience, it's a good thing to be Dutch.
Yeah.
Forever Dutch at Central College, you know. We're nice people.
There you go.
We're going to the top of the fifth, 8-0 in favor of East Marshall with Aaron Eggestal, Daniel Versteg with you.
I'm representing the home field here. I'm an Iowa Central.
Oh, sure. There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Titans?
I was talking about my heritage.
Oh, there you go.
You know, the Versteg kind of,
right.
it gives it away in that scenario. No, I'm proud to be a Mustang. I'll say that one. Kyla Call takes a strike, 0-1. So you got the bottom of third of the Lisbon order. Kyla Call, Brianna Turkington, and Lily Geyser. 0-1, that's fouled back, 0-2. So I wonder if this is the first time Kyla Call has been up since she was taken out of the game. I wonder if we might see her come in the bottom of the fifth like you talked about. She was warming up down the line.
Come back into bat and then come back into pitch here.
Right. 0-2 here to Call. And that one missed outside. That's where Newroth wanted it. Count is 1-2. Yeah, I'm wondering here because the flex is the catcher, Emma Deach. 1-2's high, 2-2. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the scenario is because they lost their DP. Turkington went out to left. And, we'll have to see how things shake out in the next half inning. 2-2 here to Call. And a foul tip, and it couldn't be held on by Grant, so Call stays alive at 2-2.
Just got a piece of that one, and then you got to hope that one of those you got to hope that the catcher doesn't make the play, that your defense is hoping the catcher does make the play. But it's really tough to grab that softball off the bat.
Oh, jeez, yeah. It changes direction on you so quick. Swing and a miss. That one, no doubt about it. Strike 3 on Kyla Call. 6th strikeout for Morgan Newroth. First out of the fifth inning, and now this is the left fielder, designated player, Brianna Turkington.
Yeah, a couple of athletes here to try to turn their lineup back over to the top and just spark something. At this point, for Lisbon, I don't think they really care where the lineup's at. They just want somebody to give them a spark.
Ground ball foul up the third baseline.
Somebody to find a way to get a piece of Morgan Newroth, who's just been phenomenal in this softball game.
Yeah, at this point, you're not picky. Base runners are base runners. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
62nd pitch she's delivered here today, and given up just one run so far, 6 strikeouts, those 2 hits, or pardon me, no runs.
Right. 0-2. Side, 1-2. That's the second straight 0-2 pitch that Grant set up off the plate outside. And Newroth has hit her spot, but the Lions are on top of it. 1-2 to Turkington. A fly ball to left. Easily for Kerber. Gets there and makes the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, the rain kind of, the wind has kind of died down a little bit, playing less with those softballs. Still a little movement in the flag, but not as much.
Yeah, definitely not what it was when that little rain shower came our way. The wind really shifted directions and picked up at that point. That's kind of when it was like, all right, maybe something's coming our way, but it settled down. Here's Lily Geyser, swing and a miss, strike 1. And Newroth Tiring 3 in a row, has 2 outs here in the top of the 5th.
And Van Meter finished off West Fork in 6 innings, 10-0.
All right, the top seed moving on. That is 4 top seeds that have advanced in the 4 classes played so far. 0-1, strike of the knees, 0-2.
Yeah, and actually 3A was the first one that went chalk. They went all the top 4 seeds advancing on.
Yep.
4A and 5A had some, but you're expecting that. 4A and 5A every year. I mean, look at 4A last year. It was 7 versus 8 in the state championship game.
Oh man, yeah. You get some wacky upsets. You're gonna have 6-7 for a semifinal in 4A.
Yeah.
You've got 5 and 6 advancing in 5A. So you got some really good matchups here the next few days at Fort Dodge. 1-2, down and in, 2-2. The nice thing is, at least for the next round, you don't have to go anywhere yet. We're all still on the Girls Union Digital Network for the semifinal round. Championship game, you can join the fine crew at Iowa Public Television. 2-2, here to Lily Geyser. Pitch, it's upstairs, full count. Full count to Geyser, struck out in the 3rd. And is trying to avoid another 1-2-3 inning put up by Morgan Newroth.
Yeah, and for Newroth, I mean, this is a big pitch. If you walk here, you put a runner on top of the order with 2 outs. Again, we're just looking for that spark. Maybe that's that spark if they can get ball 4 here. You just want to find the zone.
Payoff pitch, check swing on the ball up. It is ball 4, and Lisbon reaches, and you can see Lily Geyser is trying to fire up the Lisbon dugout a little bit and fire up the on-deck hitter, who's now at the plate, and Addie Clark.
Newroth asking the home plate umpire if that was high, and that's really the only place it could be because it was pretty down the middle.
Yep.
Just a bit high at the letters. Ball 4.
Clark takes down to start this at bat, 1-0. So again, as you mentioned just a minute ago, the winner of the other quarterfinal going on, Van Meter, a 10-0 win as the top seed, and so right now it looks like it'll be East Marshall, Van Meter, but still enough softball to play that we can't chalk it up yet. 1-0 strike called. It's 1-1.
Northeast Eddiesville, Blakesburg, Fremont. They play at 2:30. It'll be pretty on schedule there, and as of right now, we're okay on this field as well.
Yeah, we might get back on schedule here. 1-1 to Clark and a fly ball foul, first base side. 1-2. First game went pretty much exactly 2 hours on the dot. And with 2:15 in between scheduled start times, you kind of worried. But like we talked about, the grounds crew's so great here. They got the field ready quick, changed the dugouts quick, and we were only 5 minutes off schedule.
Yeah.
1-2 to Clark, ground ball through the left side. That's a base hit. The shortstop, Hollow, was cheating over to second base, anticipating maybe a stolen base opportunity, and that allows Clark to reach on a base hit.
Yeah, just like that. I mentioned that walk to the 9-hole hitter, one hitter comes up, hits a base hit. Now you got the heart of the order coming up, 2 outs. You go station to station for a little bit, and Lisbon could be right back in the softball game.
Very easily here. Here's Addie Peterson. Someone with some pop. She had a double in the first inning, part of those 2 base runners that reached in scoring position but did not score. Here's Newroth's first offering to her, and Peterson just missed it. Underneath it and foul, 0-1.
Still have 7 outs to work with as well if you're Lisbon right now.
Right now, assuming 2 runs don't score in the next half inning and the score stays the same at this point. Just the 3rd hit of the game for Lisbon. That one there for Addie Clark. The 0-1 to Addie Peterson. She hits a fly ball. Shallow left center field. Charging, nobody calls for it. And it drops in shallow left center. Lily Geyser scores and Lisbon's on the board.
Yeah, 1st to 3rd as well. Everybody thought everybody else had that softball. Looked like it was at first a tough play. But then it looked like, okay, everybody's underneath there. Somebody's going to catch that softball, and it lands all between all 3 of them.
And nobody could get there. Nobody called anybody off. Logan Anderson now running for Addie Peterson as an IMT Insurance pinch runner. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com. So
Just
Logan
like
Anderson at first, and Addie Clark, the runner at third, who was hustling all the way with 2 outs.
Just like that, you get a couple of runners on.
Yeah, like you said, the walk maybe sparks something a little bit. You got to be Now, sometimes a little lucky here. Clausen takes up. 1 ball, no strikes.
You're a bat swing away from cutting the lead in half now at this point.
Right. Chloe Clausen is the hitter. She does have 1 home run on the season. Addie Peterson was kind of the big threat there for the home run. She has 7 on the year. 1-0 to Clausen. And a swing and a miss. Late swing and a miss. Evens the count.
Yeah, kind of got fooled on that one. The late break on that swing. Just behind it.
Clausen's reached base twice. Does she have a third one in her? That one's lined hard to right, but it hangs up for the right fielder, Libby Atcher, who makes the catch on the run for out number 3. But Lisbon's on the board. The score on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 lefts. 4.5 complete. And Lisbon strikes 8-1 East Marshall. We're back after this on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
Here at Fort Dodge in the Iowa Central Field at the Harlan and Hazel Rogers Softball Park. The Class 2A state quarterfinal, 8-1 East Marshall leading Lisbon. Ashton Weeder takes down for a ball, 1-0. It is still Addie Peterson out there in the circle. We did talk about maybe a possibility of a change there with Kyla Call. And now time is called. The glove broke of third baseman Chloe Clausen.
Oh, yeah, the handle part of her glove. So she could still put her hand in it, you just can't tighten it, which is obviously you would like to have that. That's the handle part that comes over the top to tighten the glove. That's the part that actually broke. So she went to tighten her glove and she snapped off the part the Velcro part that tightens her glove.
Oh my goodness! I've seen it all here. She traded a black glove for a white glove, and they're going to give her a couple of throws just to break in that new piece of leather.
Yeah, everybody that's played the sport, baseball or softball, you don't want somebody else's glove.
No.
You want your own gloves. So of course, she's got to take a little getting used to. I mean, I still play with my high school glove.
Right.
It's been 9 years later, you know.
Foul ball, 1-1. Yeah, I feel you. I've had my high school glove for a long time, and I can't imagine what would happen if the lacing broke on it or something crazy like that.
No kidding. Yeah, that's not something you can just retie quick.
No, yeah, it's one thing if the lacing kind of falls apart on it, but that Velcro, you need some kind of leather glue for that probably.
Yeah. So she, like I said, she can still get her hand in it.
You're right.
You got to have that tight on your hand.
Well, think about it. You hit a hot shot over there, hits off your glove, and it boom, just falls off. We've seen that before. This one's rocketed to left, but charging in and getting there is the left fielder, Turkington, for out number 1. That one couldn't have gotten more than 10 feet off the ground, and Turkington was able to track it down for the first out.
Yeah, first steps were in there for Turkington, and she was able to track that one down.
Here's Libby Atcher, right fielder. As East Marshall, they can put together 3 runs in this inning, they'd win the game. And also just keeping things where it's at for the next 2-ish innings would get the job done as well. Libby Atcher 1 for 2, and now Libby Atcher loses the elbow guard. What kind of malfunctioning equipment do we have here today?
Yeah, no kidding.
Got a glove broke, and now we got a elbow guard falling off. 1-0, and Atcher, line shot. That gets over the second baseman. A base hit in the right field. Just over the leaping glove of Addie Clark at second. And a one-out base runner reaches for East Marshall and Libby Atcher.
Yeah, Clark sprung up there. I thought maybe she was going to have a shot at that softball, and just gets over the top of her glove.
So East Marshall in business here with one out. Michaela Kerber in left fielder bats for the Mustangs. Shows bunt. Reaches out and missed it. Strike one.
She did offer at that one there. Good call by her home plate umpire.
It's Josh Perkins calling the balls and strikes today for this contest, as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. 0-1 counter to Michaela Kerber. Shows bunt again and takes the ball. 1-1. The best part here at the state tournament, you get some of the most experienced, best umpires from all over the state.
Yeah.
You're not just seeing the folks you normally see around your area. You see some of the state's best, recommended by coaches. 1-1 bunted foul, 1-2. Recommended by other umpire assessors, graders.
Yeah.
So
they're always out there. Even sometimes you don't realize it, but it could be at your local high school game. Could be the first game of the year, or might be out there already kind of scouting and looking at the umpires. And
Yeah, once I learned who some of those umpire assessors were in our area, I see them all the time now.
Yeah.
Ground ball to second, and a play to first in time for out number 2. Advancing to second is Libby Atcher, as that's kind of one of those plays where the ground ball meets Clark while the runner's coming in front of her, but no issue, no interference, and now the top of the order comes up in Morgan Neuroth.
Yeah, you got to be careful for both interference, obstruction, all those different scenarios.
Runner on second, 2 away, and Neuroth smacks one out to center. Hazelbush tracking it back and gets there for out number 3. So the one-out hit, left stranded in scoring position. After 5, still an 8-1 East Marshall advantage. Top of the 6 comes your way next on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Ladies, the place for you!
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
We are through 5 in this Class 2A state quarterfinal. East Marshall holds an 8-1 lead over Lisbon. The Lions were able to scratch across a run in that top half of the 5th inning. 2-out rally. 3 base runners reaching with 2 outs in that 5th. It's Cameron Call who kicks things off for Lisbon in this road half of the 6th, and she watches strike 1 go by at the knees. It's 0-1. This is the middle third of the Lisbon order. 4, 5, and 6 up. Cameron Call, Caitlin Hazelbush, and Alexa Rose. And this middle part of the order has not done well. Just 1 walk, 0 for 5 combined. It's taken high, 1-1. And it's really, I single out the middle third of the order just by contextualizing, but it's really been 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The bottom 2/3 of the order here for Lisbon. It's really not done what they have expected to today. Just 2 walks combined, 4 through 9 in the order, and they are a combined 0 for 10.
Yeah, just one of those things, you have those days, I guess.
Yeah. Everybody's got those days, and it's just not Lisbon's at this point, although it can turn around. This is the point to do it if it is going to turn around. The count now 2-2 to call.
Yeah, you don't want to leave the 7th for all your runs or give East Marshall a chance again to score 3 runs and win the game.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility for the next half inning as well. 2-2, wave and a miss, strike 3. And another strikeout for Morgan Newroth. She's punched out 7 Lions today. And now it's Caitlin Hazelbush, the center fielder.
Yeah, Newroth looks really, really good, and she's going to, if they're fortunate to hang on and win this game, she's going to have to be really, really good on Wednesday.
Yeah, Van Meter's going to be tricky. First pitch, strike, outside corner, 0-1. I do not want to play Van Meter, that's for sure. But you're going to have to play him at some point. I mean, that's the way it goes here at State. Swing and a miss, strike 2. You really can't pick your path to State.
Nope.
At some point, you're going to have to play if you're not the number 1 team, you're going to have to play the number 1 team. If you're fortunate to be the number 1 team, you'll probably have to play the number 2 team at some point. It's the 0-2. It's outside, 1-2.
You got to beat the best to be the best, as they always say.
And just when you see a team, maybe we match up better with this one, we don't match up as good with this one, you're going to see the team that you think you don't match up as good with for whatever reason, pitching, hitting, defense, stuff like that. 1-2's fouled. Lisbon, of course, will, if this score holds, we'll still have another consolation game as they will take on 8th seeded West Fork. West Fork, one of those newcomers to the state tournament. 1-2 pitch and a pop-up. Left side of the infield. Newroth wants it. She's got it. Out number 2.
Yeah, great communication there. You could hear her from here, even with our headsets on, screaming, I got it, I got it.
Leave no doubt. There's no confusion whatsoever. Now here's Alexa Rose. 0 for 2 up. Strikeout and a fly out to her line here this afternoon. First pitch. And a wave and a miss. Strike 1.
She just looks so comfortable. Newroth does. That was one of the big things is even in an uncomfortable situation, she has just looked really comfortable all day long.
Ground ball right side on the second hop. The first baseman, Grabenbauer, juggles and takes to the bag for out number 3. And it is the third 1-2-3 inning for East Marshall pitcher Morgan Newroth. After 5.5, it remains 8-1. East Marshall on top. Mustangs have 2, 3, 4 up when we come back on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Here to Fort Dodge in Iowa Central Field, the Harlan Hazel Rogers Softball Park. Daniel Versteg, Zarin Eggestal with you. Bottom of inning number 6. It is 8-1. East Marshall on top of Lisbon in a Class 2A state quarterfinal. Veda Bryan is going to lead things off here for East Marshall against Addie Peterson. And the first pitch is down. 1 ball, no strikes. Now, Veda Bryan has reached base twice. Not probably the way she intended. Walk, hit by pitch, 2 runs scored, and an RBI for Bryan here this afternoon. Peterson's 1-0. There's a strike called. Inside corner evens the count to 1-1. Of course, we encourage you to stick around throughout the rest of the day here on the Girls Union Digital Network, at least on this field. We are going to have a good matchup between the Audubon Wheelers and the West Monona Spartans. That should be fun. 1-1 pitch is high, 2 balls and 1 strike. We'll have that for you. That's going to schedule to start at 3 o'clock. And you're stuck with us again for that contest. In case you weren't already sick of us, you probably will be after that one. 2-1 to Bryan, and a ground ball over to third. The second hop played by Clausen. A nice throw across the diamond for out number 1.
Yeah, just well executed there. Fundamental all the way around. Field the ground ball, step and throw. Good stretch over at first base, as we've seen so far in this game.
Strong defense. I mean, we only had 1-2 combined errors in this game. Maybe had some miscommunication every now and then, but for the most part, playing some pretty good defense here. McElrath takes high, 1-0.
Yeah, a couple of miscommunication plays, or as coaches always say, maybe like a mental error. We've had a couple of those, but fundamentally it's been pretty good.
McElrath reached on an error in the 4th. That one error for Lisbon in the field as Peterson misses high, 2-0. So again, as we keep reiterating, East Marshall could win it with 3 runs here in this inning, but they're also in a spot now where you just get to the next half inning and can put it away with 3 outs there. 2-0 from Peterson. That's down for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes to Rain McElrath.
And of course, we haven't seen too much of command issues for Peterson since she's come in.
McElrath takes high and in ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk for Rain McElrath, and a 1-out base runner reaches for East Marshall, but they haven't been able to really do anything with some of these base runners the last few innings. See if that changes as Peyton Grabenbauer, big bat, digs into the box.
Yeah, that's the first walk for Peterson.
She's hit a couple batters, but no base on balls until that point. Ball taken high. Now she's missed 5 pitches in a row out of the zone. Love looking down to the third base coaching box. I think Jerry Hosky always seems to have a smile over there. He's giving a little pep talk to Grabenbauer, and he finished it off with a big, toothy smile. I love it.
The biggest smile I've seen so far was that last half inning when they came off, and he just looked beaming there and looked at New Roth and just had a big smile on his face. Loves what he does.
Yes, for sure. 2-0 count to Grabenbauer, the pitch. Down and in, 3-0. Now that's 7 consecutive pitches missing for Addie Peterson. Something's got to change.
A couple extra cheers from her dugout.
Trying to fire her up maybe. Here's a 3-0 to Grabenbauer. That's a strike. Got one on the inside corner, 3-1.
Don't see, the only person working in the bullpen down there is Abby Hyatt, who will pitch for West Monona in the next game. So
that's going to be a fun pitching matchup, too. 3-1, a ground ball, scooped up at short by Clausen. They go to second and overthrow the second base bag. Rounding second, on to third is Rain McElrath, and now she's rounding third, heading to the plate. The throw to the plate is in time, and McElrath tagged out. Great recovery by the right fielder, Geyser. She was able to back up the play, get to the ball, and the relay beats McElrath for out number 2.
And Coach Hosky looked right at her and said, that was my fault.
And there's the overthrow, and then Geyser's going to mishandle it. It's actually Hazelbush that throws, and a one-hopper right into the path of McElrath for out number 2.
I think Coach saw that bobble by the right fielder, and that's why he decided to send her, but then, yeah, Hazelbush comes in and just makes a beam. We talked about that. We haven't had that since the early in the game. Remember how great we talked about how good the Lisbon outfielders had thrown the softball.
Bringman takes a strike of the knees to start her at bat. And they did also rule an error, obviously, on the throw by Clausen to second base.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those situations. Maybe you just go to first base there and get the out at first base. Now we have 2 outs, and you're just looking for one more, and I think that's what the Lisbon dugout was looking for, too, based on their reactions.
1 ball and 1 strike here to Bringman, and Peterson's pitch. It's fouled straight back. Almost had it.
Yeah. I've caught 2 so far this year.
Have you?
Yeah.
I can't say I have. I've been close, but you just don't seem to find me for some reason.
Yeah. We've got a pretty good setup, and it comes right back at me.
Keeps you on your toes. 1-2. That's a bullet down the left field line, but foul.
I've dropped 1 as well, so I had 3 opportunities. I've caught 2, dropped 1. So.
Hey, if you were at the plate, you'd take a 2 for 3 day.
Yeah.
I think most of us would. I certainly would.
Yeah.
I didn't have very many 2 for 3 days in high school. 1-2 here to Brinkman. And Peterson's pitch. Changeup down, bounces by to catcher Deach. And on to third goes Grabenbauer. Another run 60 feet away from scoring for East Marshall. Actually, I should... Oh, no, it is Evan Deach. All right,
yeah,
I was looking at the wrong jersey number there.
Yeah, she's the flex player. She's been behind the plate.
Popped up, straight back. Can Deach find it? No, she can't. It drops foul.
Tough with that mask on covering, and tough to see where that one is. She saw it, but a little bit too late.
Right. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Brinkman. 1 for 3. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. Drove in the 8th run of the game. 2-2. Down and in for ball 3. Count is full. 2 outs in the inning. Runner at third and Grabenbauer 8-1. East Marshall leads. Full count. Payoff pitch. Ground ball bounced to third. On the hop, Clausen. On to first. It's out number 3. So, last chance upcoming here for Lisbon, who needs a monster 7-run 7th inning to keep their run alive. We're back after this on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, an Iowa farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau. As proud title sponsor of the state softball tournament, the Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to creating a vibrant future for Iowa through partnerships and programs that help cultivate individuals with great character, a strong work ethic, and exceptional leadership skills. Making it to the state tournament is a great accomplishment that takes a lot of support. That's why we provide millions of dollars in awards, grants, and scholarships that recognize athletic and academic excellence. The well-being of Iowa students is also very important to Farm Bureau. That's why we provide concussion insurance coverage at no cost for all students in grades 9 through 12 who participate in a sanctioned sport. As just one of only 7 states to provide this coverage, it's just another way we're striving to support Iowa's outstanding young leaders. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau, congratulations to all the players and coaches on an outstanding season, and good luck in the tournament.
Well, this is the last call for Lisbon softball. It trails by 7 in the top of the 7th inning. Of course, they will still have a consolation game tomorrow, but if they are to stay on the winner's side of the bracket, it's going to have to take a massive 7-run 7th inning. Kyla Call going to lead things off here for Lisbon. First pitch from Newroth. Strike, top of the zone, outside corner, 0-1. You've got Call, Turkington, and Geyser. Or a due up.
But then you get back to that top of the order.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, so if you can get something started here, you feel pretty good about the potential for maybe at least getting the ball rolling. Maybe just make East Marshall kind of sweat it out a little bit.
You're going to have to bat around to score 7 runs anyway. So.
Yeah. Might as well get it started with the bottom of your order. Counts 2-1 here to Call, who has struck out twice this afternoon. Two-one pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Call. So Kyla Call, who gave up the 7 runs in the 2nd inning. Seeing if she can get something started here against Newroth. The 2-2. It's upstairs, full count. And again, the winner of this game will play Van Meter tomorrow in the semifinal round.
On this field.
On this field.
And I believe I'm doing that game.
Sweet. Well, that'll be good. A little familiar voice for East Marshall folks. Full count pitch, strike 3 called. At the knees on the inside corner as Newroth gives Kyle a call, the golden sombrero. 3 strikeouts in this ball game, and now Brianna Turkington comes up to bat. That is also the 8th strikeout recorded by Morgan Newroth. Turkington bats first pitch. Popped up, first base side. That will get into the backstop.
And of course, as most people know, once it hits that, it's dead ball there.
Yep.
Can't play it off of the back.
If only, right?
Yeah.
You'd have plenty of opportunities here, I think. Minus the dugouts. The dugouts would be tricky, but 0-1 count here to Turkington. And the pitch. That's a strike. Caught the inside corner and quickly. Newroth gets ahead of Turkington at 0-2.
That's a really good pitch.
Yes.
Just comes inside on you. Don't like to swing at those pitches, but you got to protect sometimes.
It's a really good spot, especially for a hitter like Turkington who crowds the plate a little. 0-2. Tried to go the other side and missed outside. 1-2.
You just have to be careful, though, because obviously if you come too far inside, you hit a batter, and now you got a runner on base. But in this situation, when you're up 7 runs with only 2 outs to spare, if you hit one, you're not as...
Fly ball, deep right center field. Chasing it, the center fielder, Veda Bryan, and she gets there with a strong step in the gap in right center for out number 2, and the last chance for Lisbon relies on the bat of Lily Geiser. Now, a methodical outing in the circle here this afternoon for Morgan Newroth as East Marshall scored 7 runs in the second inning, and probably could have just given Newroth 2 or 3, and she would have been just fine to cruise through the Lisbon order. First pitch. And a fly ball right side. This could end it. Ava Bringman, second baseman, into foul territory. She's got it. And East Marshall moving on to the semifinal round in their third state tournament appearance as they defeat Lisbon by the final score of 8-1. Lisbon falls to 27-13, and it will be a consolation contest against West Fork, trying to at least salvage 1 win to end the season. East Marshall will take a 33-4 record into a matchup with the Van Meter Bulldogs, who pulled off a strong 10-0 win in 6 innings in their quarterfinal earlier today. Hats off to Lisbon, but you give up 7 runs in the second inning. East Marshall just did everything right to pile on the runs.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's one of those things that we talked about earlier. Runs are tough to come by in the state tournament, so once you kind of get that lead, and Newroth as well as she was pitching, as she's moving her team out of the bracket, why not have her do it after a dominating performance? And they got that 1 run, but just a kind of a dominating performance by Newroth.
Yeah, 4 hits allowed, 1 earned run, struck out 8, and only walked 1. Like you said, dominant performance in East Marshall on to the state semifinals. Stick around. We've still got 3 more games on this field. It will continue with Audubon, the Wheelers, against the Spartans of West Monona. That is coming up next here on the Girls Union Digital Network. Until then, for Zarin Egestall and the rest of our digital network crew, this is Daniel Versteg. Thanks for tuning in to Girls State Softball Action, presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the digital network, powered by Mid-American Energy.